Hey guys, welcome to another guy's garage. Today, we're taking this golf cart from plain to practical. That's right, we're putting a street legal kit on it. Lights, turn signals, horn, mirrors, grab bars, seatbelts, the whole works. Stay with me, let's get into it. For this project, I went all in on whatever this company is. They're all over Amazon, and they claim to be the high-end customer's preferred brand in golf cart parts and accessories. Let's see. Starting with this is a cover. We're gonna want one of those. I bought this. These are universal seat belts. Hopefully they fit on this golf cart. And of course, we want to keep our passengers safe. So I bought this. It's a grab bar for the back seat. Also comes with a trailer hitch. You know, there's a scene from Cannonball Run where they rip the mirror off the car and say, what's behind us isn't important. Well, in Ohio it is. So we're putting mirrors on our golf cart because that's a requirement to make it street legal. Most of all, I bought this. It's a whole kit. Lights, turn signals, horn, the whole shebang, you name it. We need all this stuff to make our cart street legal. Let's get into it. So the kit comes with these instructions. I won't lie, they're not great. They kind of need to come with a translator. There's no translator. But the good news is, there's lots of pictures. And you know what? I like pictures. So let's look at the pictures and see if we can't get this thing together. Oh yeah, all this stuff. That's what's in the kit. They want you to run the wiring harness first. I'm gonna wait. Let's cut holes for the lights. That's what I want to work on. The kit comes with a whole bag of templates. Let's see if we can't find, oh, they're already pre-cut, look at that. This is the template for the headlights. Let's see if we can't stick this on there and get ready to cut some holes. All right, looks like we got some trimming to do on this template to get it to fit. So let's go ahead and take those and cut this. I won't lie, for a two-dimensional paper template, it's not too bad. So here's what the headlight looks like. I think it's important we try to get this to match the body line. So as long as these are right, where it says body line, we should be good. Alright, so they gave you two templates for the driver's side, and they said for the passenger side, flip it over. Yeah, not as cool. Alright, let's pull these templates off and check our work. It's straight-ish. Let's see what we got. Guys, I'm not getting the calipers out here, but I am curious how close we are. Let's call that 2.5. Alright, not too bad. Let's do the back, and then we'll think about cutting these out. Alright, same thing in the back here. Looks like this. It says align this edge with the body contour, which I'm going to assume is this contour right here, and then down here in the corner it says top of edge bumper right here. So let's go ahead and tape it on. Same nonsense though. They give you two driver side and they say to flip it over. I don't think it would have taken that much more, but I also get that they kind of pre-cut these, so yeah, I get it. Let's do the same. Let's measure some spots and make sure we're semi-symmetrical. All right, we're gonna call that good. Just to give you an idea what that's gonna look like, it's something like that. Hopefully we did it right. We're gonna find out. So this is a 2020 EZGO TXT Fleet model. It's got the EX1, the engine that all the purists hate, but it's pretty clean. No lift kit, but bigger tires and wheels. All we have left now is to start cutting holes. So the headlight and taillight holes are cut out. There's something I learned working this whole process. This is one of the first ones I did. I drilled 4 holes and then cut around the pattern I made. This is like ABS, or I think even read it could have been polypropylene, but the plastic melts fairly easily. So as I'm cutting, the plastic is actually melting together and sealing back up. So when I cut around this perimeter, I could not pop this out, and I had to recut it several times in order to get it out. What I learned on the last one, this is the last one I did, and you can see I drilled a bunch of holes and just connected the dots. Connecting the dots made it super easy to cut around and pop this piece out without fighting with it. Just a tip, something I learned cutting out all these holes. All right, you got 3 out of 4 latched. Front headlights are in, and they're mostly straight. So good. Next, we've got this horn. It says basically just to attach it to one of the supports that hold this plastic piece on. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to put it on, call it good. There. Horn installed. All right, guys, the hard part's over. I spared you the pain of watching me run wires because that's really all it was. So as of now, we're over halfway home to making this thing street legal. I've got lights, I've got turn signals, I've got hazards. Running the wire was pretty straightforward. There were actually places where the factory wiring harness I could just run right next to it. There is one weird thing. This switch runs the lights also, but it is nowhere in a wiring diagram or in the instructions. Also, the original instructions say to drill a hole down here. You don't need to. There's places in the body where you can run that main wire harness right through the front of the golf cart. The front of this golf cart's metal, so drilling a hole the size that we needed to would have been a nightmare, but there are places to do that. This was super easy to mount. A couple clamps, a couple foam pieces to keep it from sliding around and moving. And then this is just a cover that slides on there. I did have to trim it because my cart has this little bump here, but you can see the wiring harness runs through here and then out the bottom here. So again, we're over halfway home to making this thing street legal. Now all we have to do is install the mirrors, the seat belts, and the safety rack in the back, and then possibly a license plate light. All right, guys, today we're at the campsite, and we are going to install, as part of our quest to make this golf cart street legal, this 10 LOL, I think that's how you say it, golf cart rearview mirror and side mirror kit. Let's get it out of the box and see what we've got. All right. It's like some brackets, center mirror, instructions, and 2 mirrors. All right, let's see what it takes to put this on. So this kit is drill-free mounting, and you can see they give you multiple versions of the clamp that go around the pillar depending on what size square tube you've got. So let's go see what we've got and see which one we need to use. It's definitely not the small one. I'm kind of thinking it's this one. It's definitely not the big one. These just slip over the post, snap on. You can kind of adjust these. I recommend putting them eye level, but because ours are no drill, there's really no commit, so we can go ahead and move them if we don't like them. All right, the kit comes with the hardware. I put the mirror through the mirror, also the tools to tighten it, also some adhesive strip, so when we do commit, if we don't want it to slide up and down, we can put this adhesive on there and to keep it from moving. There's kind of our view, so perfect. I think this will work out pretty good. Same on the other side, and we're done. So a mistake I made when I originally put these on, there's a small hole and a large hole. I want this to go through the large hole, and I want it in the front because it looks a little cleaner versus the side that has a washer and a lock washer on it. With the no drill, it's no big deal because I can literally pop this off. See, small hole, big hole, small, big. I could swap this around, clip it back on there, get it about even with the other side. Put my mirror on. Again, big hole in the back. Let's go ahead and finish this center mirror. Let's get this mounted and we can call this job done. All right, so the instructions say to find the center, which is here, and then mark 8 inches this way, which is here. You know, if you can see that mark, and then 8 inches this way, which is here. I put the bracket on the mirror, and then I mark the edge of the bracket, so now I can use the bracket to drill my holes on either side, and I don't have to worry about my measurement being perfect. So we're going to try doing it this way. Wish me luck. All goes well, we'll have this thing mounted in the next 2 minutes. All right, folks, there it is. The installation of the 10 LOL drill-free mirror kit. I got the side mirrors mounted. I got the center mirror mounted. I feel like they could have taken advantage of these guys, but I'm sure in every cart they're different. But so we did have to drill through the roof, but not a big deal. So I can see behind me. It's all good. Guys, we are one step closer to making this golf cart street legal. Today, we're mounting the seatbelt kit. This is the universal retractable golf cart seatbelts and bracket kit from 10 LOL. Let's go ahead and get it unboxed and see what we got. All right, I opened the box. What we got here is a hardware kit, clearly labeled. Brackets. Everything's packaged pretty nice. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, and there it is. Let's see how the instructions are. Most of my instructions have not been too bad. Luckily, they carry a lot of pictures because the English is pretty broken, but to be expected. So this is always nice. It tells you what you need. So I'm going to go ahead and gather these tools. All right, guys, something worth noting. I bought the kit that comes with this bracket. This bracket is what your safety belt's actually attached to. I didn't need it. I had no idea. Guess what? Before you make the purchase, check this first. So my golf cart has tabs here and tabs here on either side. Guess what those are for? Those are for seat belts, which means you don't need this. So just get the seatbelt kit. Some of you may have noticed I'm not a small guy. So before we get too far, let's make sure when we attach these, this is enough to get around this. So I think this part is pretty straightforward. You've got a seatbelt on this side and on this side, and they give you a split washer, aka a lock washer, and a nylon washer. Nope. Yep. I don't know what the benefit of having these on both. I think we'll want to put the split washer on the head, maybe. Normally that's on the nut side, but this is a nylock washer, which means there's a nylon part that locks it in. You shouldn't need both these on the same side. I don't know what the intention was there, and of course the instructions are not very clear, so let's go ahead and put this in here like so. Also, I didn't know if you're supposed to put this on top or bottom. The picture kind of shows both. This seems to work, so this is how I'm going to put it. One goes this way and one goes that way. Put this on the outside. All right, while they're loose, let's try the fat man test here. Oh yeah, I can even grow a couple inches. Nice. I feel safer already. This may be an excuse to never ride in the back. Ooh, she's tight. It could be a little longer, I won't lie. But it's good. It's good. Alright, for whatever reason, this one binds, this one doesn't. You can see I've got them switched, one up and one down. I'm going to go ahead and switch this one around and see if I can get it to stop binding. It doesn't show in the book, actually shows that they're in both orientations. I'm going to swap this one around. For some reason, this one seems happier with this part up versus this part down. So let's switch them around. All right, guys, it doesn't say in the instructions, but putting this part up on both of these has stopped the binding. So I don't know what was causing that, but they seem much happier like this than they were flipped around. All right, guys, the passenger side is just like the driver's side. So I'm not going to bore you with the details. You don't have to watch me do it. Hopefully I don't do anything stupid. We get these attached and we call this part done. Very good. They work. Look, I can't fall out. It's like the ride. It's like the Texas Twister. Know what you're getting. The instructions are not great. But you know what? They're seatbelts. You need seatbelts to be street legal. This is one step further to make it street legal. They fit around a fat guy like me, although I might suggest getting one size up. But they work. So for the money, for the cost, I think they're okay, but they're just okay. This is our quest to make our golf cart street legal. But this is a kit from 10 LOL. It is a grab bar and trailer hitch assembly. Got the grab bar so the girls, when they're on the back, they don't feel like they're going to fall off. And then the trailer hitch is super handy because we have one of those little little poop carts. This way we can tow it to the dump station. I don't have to put it on the back of my truck. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see what's inside. I thought I'd do all the pre-assembly that I could here in the garage where I'm comfortable and have the tools. And then I'll do the final connections to the golf cart back at the campground. All right, overall, I've been pretty happy with the stuff I bought from this company. Again, they sell a lot on Amazon. That's where I've been buying my stuff. But I will admit the instructions have been lacking, but there are some good pictures. So let's go ahead, like I said, and try to pre-assemble as much as we can. Looks like we can get at least the main bar assembled before we put in a golf cart. I'm just doing one of these deals. Pretty straightforward. All right. This is hardware set A. In case you didn't know, just translate. Again, they love to put lock washers with nylock nuts. I'm going to go ahead and use them because it'll act as a little washer. But I think it's a redundant retaining method. The hardware is all 13 millimeter. All right, let's put the grab bar on. We'll put the triangle facing out. All right, guys, I think that's as far as we can take it here. Seems pretty sturdy, it looks good enough. This is the receiver. It is nothing to write home about. It's mostly square. The welds look like I did it. Paint could be better. A lot of pinholes. Probably wasn't clean when they painted it, but hey, it's black and it's going to serve the purpose. It says the next step is to mount this and then mount this. I thought about mounting this now, but it looks like if you do that, getting to these bolts is going to be a nightmare in the golf cart. So we're going to wait. The next time you see me, we'll be at the camper and I'll be mounting this on the back of the golf cart. All right, guys, as promised, we are back at the campsite and we are putting on the grab bar. 4 simple bolts. Let's get this done. All right, the bar goes in here. And this is just a little bit too narrow, so it's just plastic. I'm going to give it a little trim and see if I can't sneak it up there. So I've taken these guys loose. Now I can get enough room, hopefully, to slip the bolts in down here. One. All right, grab bar's on. Last piece is the trailer hitch. We can call this job done. All right, we're all snugged up. Let's make sure it's straight before we tighten everything down. All right, guys, that's it for the 10 LOL grab bar and trailer hitch. Looks good, nice and straight. A couple pieces didn't fit perfect, especially the supports underneath the step weren't quite the same distance. They were a little bit shorter, so I kind of drew everything in. I probably could have taken a couple washers and taken up that gap. I don't have any washers. I'm at the camper. I got what I got. But all in all, not too bad. It's installed. Now we're ready to haul some. Guys, we're in the last phase of making our golf cart street legal. Today, we are installing the license plate bracket and light. That is the last thing we need to do to make this street legal before we can go have it inspected. Now, I've been told by somebody else that it costs them upwards of $200 to have someone else put a lighted bracket on their golf cart. It's not going to cost us that much. I think I paid $15. I'll put the link in the description for the actual bracket and light, and it's going to be super simple. We're going to tie into the existing wiring, put it on the switch, and we'll have a lighted license plate light. So this is the bracket that I bought, and I think I'm going to place it as high as I can get it. So somewhere about here. All right, guys, hopefully you can hear me over the lawnmower. But first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to extend these leads. I know I need to do that in order to connect this. There's 2 little LEDs in here. They're not going to draw a lot of power. So I'm using 18 gauge wire. I am keeping the theme of blue because when I checked the wiring diagram for the light kit I bought, blue wire was the power wire to the running lights. So I got power wire to the running lights, and then I have a ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and make this connection and extend this so I can run the wires wherever I want. Let's go ahead and get these stripped. Today, I'm keeping it simple. I'm gonna use a couple butt connectors I brought from home. Per the wiring diagram for our license plate light, the black goes to a power source and the white goes to the ground. And because I brought it, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little shrink tube on that just to make sure we've got a good sealed connection. Absolutely not necessary, but something I like to do. Oh good, the lawnmower finally stopped. Guy's cutting the whole neighborhood here. Nope, there he goes. Little heat shrink is totally belts and suspenders. Hopefully it'll shrink down. Oop, a little too hot there, Tom. All right, so I have the loom tucked in right behind this piece of frame, and I'm making the decision to go ahead and splice into that section. Here's the loom. Here you can see, here's my blue wire. At least I think you can see this, it's kind of dark. And here's a black. I just need to figure out what's ground and what's going to the signal. Let's consult the wiring diagram before we cut into these. All right, so the wiring diagram for the golf cart says blue is the headlight and rear tail light. That should be on with the lights. It should be the rear right should be brown. Is that brown? Look brown to you? That's maybe brown. So we have black, it could be brown, maybe more purplish, and blue. That's our choices. So one of those is going to be our power to the lights. So I'm going to cut one. We're going to find out. If I put a test light on this, we should have power when I turn the headlights on and I hit it to ground. Let's see. I got my ground. Let's go ahead and see. That's it, folks. So this is the light. So this is what we want to hook up to. Let's go ahead and turn our light switch off. We don't zap ourselves and make our final connections. Now we just got to do the same thing with the black and we're done. All right, guys, let's do a test. I'm going to go ahead and turn the running lights on. All right, we have a license plate light and we have 2 running lights. Awesome. Hazards unaffected. Nice. All right, let's go ahead and shrink those up and then go ahead and mount the bracket and we're done. I'm opting not to use the lighter because the gas tank is right next to me. Headlights, taillights, license plate light. It's pretty bright. 4 ways, lights. Everything else is just always on. So right turn signal, left turn signal, horn. All right, guys, as always, if you got anything out of this video, please like, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.